Should probably put my ear goggles on, huh?
That would have been funny if it smacked you in
my
the face. Serves you right for mixing broccoli with General Tso's.
Sorry, I was getting my headphones settled. I didn't hear what you said. Let's keep
the
it
tape.
that way.
You should be able to hear it.
Oh, yeah. I think we'll delete this part.
You can delete whatever you want. Wish I could have deleted the broccoli from last night and my General Tso's.
Hey, oh.
You just don't do that. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 35 of Next Stop Somewhere. Today,
What about broccoli flavoring? What if I grind it up?
I don't think so.
Mix it up into a slurry? And
What is wrong with you? Well, you do that, sure. I'll put that in with your breakfast. See how you like it.
Like those home fries at the place the other day? What do they call it? Remoulade dung tada tada?
I don't know.
Remoulade? Yeah.
Parsley.
Ground
Parsley
parsley.
pesto.
Yeah.
That's basically what it was, a parsley
what it was.
pesto.
Yeah.
Mhm. And that's what and I said. It's not. Anyway.
The answer to the question nobody had. What if pesto, but with parsley?
Instead of basil? Like, why would you f that up? Why would you do that? Why try and fix something that's not broken?
Anyway.
Welcome to Season 1, Episode 35 of Next Stop Somewhere. We're Jeff and Louise, and today we're exploring Hershey, Pennsylvania.
The sweetest place on earth this year. Not about luxury travel, but everyday travel, everyday people, the little things that make life on the road special. So grab your coffee.
That's my line. So grab your coffee, buckle up, and let's dive in. We stayed at Trails Hershey, but it is really in Lebanon.
Yeah. That's kind of equal distant, but that wasn't a lie. Yeah.
I'm just telling you what it's called. It's called Thousand Trails Hershey, but it's really in Lebanon.
Yeah.
And, they put us in the handicap spot.
Yeah.
Which, okay, that's fine. It's called H1, and the lot number was H1, but it is a disability spot for some reason. And it was like a beacon. Everywhere from the park, you can see our RV.
It was a good 30, 40 feet to the next.
But right
trailer
on the
site.
main road when you're coming in that way.
Yeah.
So everybody the camper site opened up onto the main road.
Yeah.
We typically hook up Buttercup onto the picnic table. We've got a carabiner that we put on the leash and we put it underneath her so that we can do things and she won't go away. I don't know why it's falling over. She won't go away. And she can get onto the road.
The night, well, we grilled a couple times, and when I was out there, people are out walking their dogs, they're walking by, and I'm standing right there, and they think they got to say hi and talk to me. It's like if I was standing there in a site that was isolated, if you made eye contact or something, whatever, people would be friendly. But here it was like, didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
So I had to say hello to everybody who walked by.
Yeah. But the good part was that nobody could park in next to us on either side, which is great. The other part that was also good was that behind us it was field.
Yeah.
In front of us was a bathroom, so that the one time you were using the bathroom, I really needed to go so I could run across the street, go to the bathroom. But the bad part is you see everybody that drives by, like people
Fresh meat.
We go outside, they're there. Everybody can tell when we're there or not there. It's not very private.
Yeah. Was not very private.
No.
I think it must have been the handicap spot because, like you said, it was right there on the main road and it was right across from the bathroom.
You didn't have to go uphill.
You didn't have to go uphill to get to your site yeah. Other than that.
The other good part was you could see all the geese, especially Bob and Carol.
Bob and Sue.
Bob and Sue.
Yeah.
I'm Carol, you're Bob.
Yeah.
Let me do that. Bob and Sue. She had laid eggs and would attack you every time that you came or close to it, both of
Right.
them. Bob was a good dad.
So there were dozens of geese there. Somebody posted on one of the Facebook groups like a joke about somebody gonna call ICE because there's all these Canadian geese here, which there were. There were quite a few of them, and it's the season where they do their thing. So yeah, they're the two, Bob and Sue.
And Matilda, who was by herself. She didn't have a partner.
No,
Or Matilda.
but Bob and Sue were there, and Sue built their nest, or Sue built her nest in the flower bed that was on one side of the driveway into the parking lot
For the activity center,
for the activity center for the overflow parking.
which we could see because we're close to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the funny thing was, like, they were walking around, and then Sue sat on the nest
All the time.
all the time. And anytime somebody walked by, Bob would be right there.
He would come from wherever he was at.
Honking.
He was coming over.
Yeah, for sure.
And you antagonized them.
I maybe went a little just to see what he would do. It was more Buttercup, because when I went out alone a couple of times, he didn't really, but it was definitely with Buttercup.
Sure.
And he would come over, and there was one time we got close enough where both he and Sue raised up, spread their wings, or honking, hiss. They would definitely, Bob would be hissing and all. But the funny part would be like times when I would come down, just go out the door with Buttercup, and he would be all the way across there, and he'd be like, oh no, this, and start waddling over.
Fast as he could go. And we didn't think we would be able to see any hatchlings, but then because we thought we would be gone by the time that they were finally hatched. But they did.
I sure did.
They had three
Yeah.
little cute baby hatchlings walking around. It's very cute watching. I don't know. I think Mom was in front and Dad was in the back.
Yeah.
And they would just follow her around.
Yeah. There was like 5 eggs, and there's 2 that were non-viable. So there's 2 that didn't hatch. But then there was another couple of groups that had, there was one with like 15 gazelles. I think it was like
Two
families together, and they're all running. We got pictures, and we'll put them up here. It was
I think the
very
fun
cute.
part was being able to have the conversations of what Sue is saying to Bob. Look at them, Bob. They have all of these little babies, and you only gave me 3. What's wrong with you?
And then the scary part was the second day after they had hatched, they were going along, and you had seen the hawks out the back of your window, and then we didn't see them for like a day or 2.
Yeah.
I go, no. But we didn't see any
God,
of them.
Don't let them. None of them. They were gone. Where did they go?
It's like the hawks
no
eat
idea.
every little gosling.
Oh my gosh.
And then they're back.
Yeah.
We didn't. I think we only saw them a couple times after that, but they clearly, they had a more sheltered place where they're raising the
because
goslings.
hawks were looking.
Oh yeah, they were.
Anyway, that was fun.
That was great.
They definitely made it worth it. I know there were people that were bitching about it, but
Yeah.
I mean, they're geese.
I mean, the worst thing is they get the goose poop everywhere, and the dog loves that. It's almost as good as cat poop.
God, that's disgusting. Chicken poop. The bathrooms were not bad.
Bathrooms are nice.
The activity center was fine.
All of them are like, I don't know, 20 years old. The ones we've been
Or
at.
more.
Or
Like
some are
80s.
worse. Yeah, yeah. So not the newest and greatest, but adequate.
Linda started there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was one of the activity coordinators. She is an RVer full time. Her and her husband worked up at the security gate, and we had gone for trivia night, and on the paper it said
5.
family trivia night,
Yeah.
5 to 7. Now, if anybody knows Jeff, he's very good at trivia. Like when the family gets together, it is all of us against him, and he still wins, like hands down. We try and catch him cheating, but like, how does he know half this stuff? So it was like trivia night. Yeah, we're gonna go. It was kids there. There was a couple of kids. There was 3 kids there, a mom and 2 of her kids, and then Jeff and I, and then Linda. We were there, and we get there at 5, and they're like, "No, it doesn't start now. It starts at 6." Big mistake. It was because the 6 was cut off, and it made it look like 5 on the end of the margin on the paper.
Yeah.
So we hung out with Linda for a little while and talked, and got to meet this other chick.
We were there, and this other Linda was there, and we said, "Is this real trivia?" Yeah, but it doesn't start till 6. Like, oh, it says on the paper 5. And then this other person came in. It says on the app. On the app, it says 6. It's 6 on the app. And we're like, "What freaking app are you talking about?" And you after after it was cleared up and she came back, you're like, not everyone has the app.
I wasn't going to let it go. But
Yeah. And even Linda was like, they're giving this away at the front desk. We got that paper when we pulled in. So.
Yeah, she was a bitch.
Yeah.
And so
but
I
Linda
said
was
something.
not Linda. Linda was great.
Linda was great.
Yeah. And it was
but
fun hanging
the other
out there with her.
So we did do some activities. We did trivia night and
Crushed the 9-year-olds.
yeah, except for the last one where one of the questions was about what is the nickname for Hershey? And somebody got it wrong.
I said sweetest city on earth, but it's sweetest place on earth.
And then we ended up tie.
Yep.
But that way everybody got what they wanted. They had a lot of good prizes though for kids. A lot of prizes. Not just the little crappy ones, but a lot of prizes.
Yep.
And then we did bingo twice, two nights in a row. And that was, if Bitch
Rocky.
Face wasn't there, it would be so much better. But she just needed to try and be in control and talked over Linda all the time. And that part was not pleasant. And she caused a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
That was frustrating to me.
Yeah. They really needed some sort of visual display that would show what numbers have been called. Would have been the biggest thing.
Because she would call it and then people couldn't hear it. And it was just.
And she was trying to keep track as they were going, but then we'd be distracted. And then, yes, this was called. No, this was.
Even what game we're playing. You know, it's an H or a T and clear the boards. No, don't clear the boards. No, you got to clear. No, don't clear the boards.
Yeah.
It was just, that was not fun. It was like she just needed to go away.
Yeah. But there you have it. But we did.
The pool
You
table.
had to have have quarters for pool tables. So
It's kind of weird.
Because who carries quarters around these days?
Yeah.
Who carries them around?
We saved them from when we would take the change out of our pockets or whatever. We would put them in jars, mason jars at home. So we separated out all the quarters and cashed in all the non-quarters. And that way, because we thought we would need the quarters for doing laundry when we had the old RV.
Right.
Which we did use. And then we have a washer and dryer here, but we still use it when we need to do. But a lot of the washer and dryers in these campgrounds have apps. You don't need the quarters anymore, which is handy.
Yep.
Which we use when we do the comforter.
Yep. So overall, campground.
I'd give it a solid 8.3.
8.3. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. It was close to the town.
Yeah. Not too
It was
bad.
in a beautiful area. It was a nice, big, spread out campground.
Good activity.
So, the campground. Okay, do you want to knock that down then to an 8? Because
No, that's why I would give it
8.3. Let's see what else. By the way, I see
I
you're
cleaned up
wearing
the
your
old
Harper's Ferry shirt today.
I am wearing my
You're going against our rules for wearing merch.
We're not going to be west of the Mississippi, are we?
Yes.
So when am I going to be? When is that? It won't be till July.
After that,
But we're north of the Mason-Dixon line.
one state. 2 states now, technically 1 state. Anyway,
I'm wearing it
Hershey.
inside. I'm not wearing it outside.
okay.
So campground, great. Moving on. Food.
Yeah.
We did have some damn good food, but not at the restaurant I chose. As we've discussed, we do every other Saturday. We pick a restaurant. I picked the filling station. I love the diners. The pictures, the reviews looked like it was going to be good place, and it was not. It was mediocre. It was mediocre. We got, let's see. Yeah, I got some kind of a corned beef hash and eggs.
Yep. What did I get? Oh, I got the crab cake.
Cake Benedict.
Benedict. And then on a side, no, it was pretty inexpensive.
So typical diner, like canned corned beef hash. The home fries were undercooked, so not at all crispy, just
Mushy.
barely done.
Canned corn hollandaise sauce.
Probably canned, yeah. The one I always compare it to and that I'm always looking for is the Four Aces Diner outside of Lebanon,
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, yeah. Where it's like they have delicious corned
They're
beef hash.
aces.
What's that?
Their food are aces.
Their food is aces. That's right. The corned beef hash they make their own corned beef.
Service wasn't great. We sat at a four-top where there was, it was like divided. So we invited this other two people. They
Two
were
gals, as my grandfather would have said.
two women that were just meeting together and hanging out for a time.
Yeah, they were having their monthly meetup. The kids were at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we sat down, and first of all, you walk in, no sign up. No, nothing that says wait here to be seated, anything like that. So you're kind of like awkwardly standing around. Then finally, one of the customers said, you need to, if you stand down here, you can see the booth, because it was kind of like an L shape. I'm like, oh, thank you. So then everybody kind of moved down, and there's a little, oh, seat opened up. Oh, you were here first. No, I'm waiting for whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then finally, two tops that were pushed together opened up, and you said to the two women, you want to sit down too, whatever. So they all sat. And then we sat there, and finally I got up, got menus, and walked around, pretended to hear your menus today. Please let me know. So they thought it was hilarious, I guess. And then we sat and we got our food, and mediocre, 3 out of 5. Like you said, it was inexpensive. So that was definitely a plus.
Yep. Next place was my turn. It was Mother's Day weekend, and I chose a place called Côte Rouge. And it was the part that I liked about it, which lured me in there, was it was very unique. It was in an old home outside of Harrisburg, and had some pretty interesting, had very unique food.
Yeah. The woman, it turns out once we got there, because it was Proud Dad was the host.
He was.
The volunteer host. And
was our waitress.
Yeah.
Could be the Culinary Institute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. She worked at Wolfgang Puck's restaurant.
Did a lot of training.
Did like catering and all this kind of stuff. So she was like fine dining. Yeah. Top notch. And then I guess Dad really didn't give all the details. Basically, she came back for some convention here or something like that. They're originally from Harrisburg. She went out to California, came back, met a guy.
They moved out to California too.
They all moved out. Yeah, And then she met this guy, and then they opened up the restaurant together. And then Mom and Dad came back after they retired and are helping her out. And the part that, of course, I liked was aside from the food was great, but then on top of that, a little extra dose of history, because Côte Rouge in French means red tails, which is the Tuskegee Airmen, and the someone's grandfather
of the cook. It was
so not her
dad's dad
was one of the Tuskegee Airmen, which was an African-American group of pilots for too.
And he had a bunch of, there was a mural on the side of the building outside that was painted that way. And then there was inside, they had his picture portrayed, and then on the wall behind me, there's a bunch of pictures. So I have pictures. We'll post them here.
And then the other thing I liked was they had lots of local artists. I didn't particularly care for the art necessarily, but I liked that they were showcasing local artists. Yeah. And the food, fantastic.
The food was outstanding. Now, because they didn't have their liquor license, they couldn't sell alcohol, but they could give away mimosas. So I had a mimosa for breakfast, it was a lot of orange juice and a little bit of champagne, but very friendly environment. Encouraged us to walk around, look at everything that was there. Yeah. We didn't have a reservation, which I didn't think we needed a reservation, but luckily they were able to fit us in because everybody gets a reservation. Yeah. Upstairs was the bathroom, which was an interesting bathroom because it had a shower in it. But yeah, it was great. It was really good. You got coffee. You weren't going to get coffee, but then you did get coffee, and that was even better than
really good coffee.
The other coffee
at the Cafe Ibiza. Yeah, the coffee was amazing.
Coffee was really good. Coffee was so good, it was almost like the Vivace coffee, which I feel is the best coffee I've ever had. It's only in Washington, and you can order it, but it's expensive.
Especially when you had shipping and all that.
It's the shipping that makes it expensive.
Yeah.
But it was really good. I didn't get coffee. And then we got to, before breakfast, we had breakfast. It's not really an appetizer, but it was like a cinnamon crumb cake or coffee cake or whatever, and it was really good. We split it. Divine.
Two enthusiastic thumbs up.
Yeah. What did you get?
Nothing to complain about. I don't remember. I didn't write it down.
Oh, I think.
Because you have the menu. I got the prosciutto and asparagus Benedict.
You did. That was delicious.
With crispy prosciutto.
It was really good.
It was like flash fried, deep fried something. It was really crispy and crunchy. And then it had asparagus, poached egg on a
fresh hollandaise sauce.
Yeah.
Real hollandaise.
And then a side of the home fries, which were fine. I love the crispy home fries, and these were not crispy.
No, they were like not quite wedges, but they were like baby potatoes cut in half, fried, roasted.
Yeah, what do they call it?
They were good.
Fingerling.
Yeah.
And then you got the omu rice omelet. I think omu means grandmother in Japanese. Because then when you asked about it, they had a whole story about how it was.
Well, oma.
Yeah.
Oma is grandmother in Dutch.
And it was, here's how it's advertised. New York strip, nishiki rice, English peas, tomato jam. When tomato jam takes off its fancy dress jacket and puts on its casual clothes.
It's ketchup.
It's ketchup.
I don't like ketchup.
And unfortunately, it wasn't just on the side.
No.
It was everything mixed together inside the omelet.
Okay, so let's pick this apart. The omelet, the eggs was fantastic. I can't.
Fluffy.
They were fluffy. They were really good.
Yeah.
The rice, I can't tell you, and neither I can tell you about the steak because it was covered. All I could taste was the ketchup. It was and then they put little decorative dollops of, I was like, what did I think tomato jam would be?
Yeah.
I thought tomato jam would be just,
Yeah.
why did I think it would not be ketchup? I just didn't think it would be ketchup. I don't know I thought maybe like a puree, a tomato puree would have been like that. But if you break down what tomato jam is, jam is like strawberry jam. It's strawberries pureed with sugar. So here we have tomatoes pureed with sugar, and it ends up being ketchup.
Yep. That was a disappointment. I felt bad.
That was a disappointment.
Yeah.
I know you did offer me half of yours, but it was like, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Especially for how expensive it is.
Yeah, it was pricey for sure. It was not completely fine dining prices, but it was like $20 for the each entree, and then side order is separate. The coffee cake was separate. It added up. But segue, are we done with that?
Sure.
Because the other thing he said is we get to talking. He was a talker. He's, in a good way. No, I actually wished he would have come back. We could have talked a little more. I was,
Yeah, very interesting family.
But we found out that we told them we were RV full time. So, you got to go to the Broad Street Market. Like, what's that? Oh, it's a big farmer's market. It was right down the road. You turn, and there's a burned out building, which
put a pin in that because we have another restaurant to talk about.
Portolo's?
No,
Pizza?
your Yankee Doodle.
Oh, okay.
So we did go. Yeah.
So the next week, yeah, that's right, Yankee Doodle. We use various methods of finding out how to find good places. Honestly, Reddit is probably one of the best. I use Yelp and kind of get an idea. Then I go on Reddit.
We have established.
No, Reddit usually is better. And so I went on Reddit. You just search best brunch, best whatever. And this place called Yankee Doodle came up. I'm like, what is this? Crappy diner or something like that. Again, probably like the filling station. But it looked, and it's basically, there's a Mexican-American restaurant with Mexican and American stuff for brunch.
Yep.
So we went, and it was good.
I'm reading here your notes. It says sausage and quesadilla, not great.
We gave it 4 out of 5. And we're like, why not 5?
Crumble. You don't like sliced sausage?
No, that's the pizza.
The sausage you have in here it wasn't hot.
The reason I knocked it down was because my huevos rancheros were warm, not hot. And I didn't really like the salsa that much. You didn't like the sausage in yours.
There wasn't much of it.
Yeah.
It was like,
and you said it tasted funny.
Yeah.
But that was it.
Terrible, but it was. I had the avocado quesadilla.
Avocado, yeah. Good prices, big portions.
I would go back again, try something different.
Oh, yeah.
They had a massive menu.
They had a huge menu. Yeah.
It did.
I could see it's definitely the kind of place where every couple of months you go there for breakfast.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other place that we ate was Bartello's Pizza.
Which is mediocre.
Very mediocre.
Yeah.
Still looking for that good pizza. Although the Antica in Gettysburg was pretty close.
Yeah.
All right. You want to do Broad Street Market, or do you want to do the yarn stores?
No, we'll go back to yarn fabric.
So here's the deal. I am doing a felted piece where you have to push the fiber into a cloth fiber, and it makes a picture. And and we can show you a picture of it. I need more fiber to be able to put in to fill the sheep that are in there. I bought this several years ago at a fiber fair in Vermont. I finished the peacock one, and now I'm working on this one. It's a much bigger thing. Anyway, so my goal is I'm not buying yarn. I'm looking for fiber. And we went to several of them, and I'm going to preface this by saying this. It pisses me off when you can't update your website and I drive 45 minutes out of my way.
It's just rude.
Really pisses me off because it's 45 fucking minutes at diesel prices driving there for one purpose to go to your store, and you can't update your site. But it pisses me off.
Yeah.
Get a little touchy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The place was String Theory. Clever name. And then we went there and we looked online. And yes, it's a yarn store. It talks about all the yarn and stuff. But it says, come here for all of your weaving, spinning, knitting, crocheting needs. Specifically calls out not just, so it's not, we don't have just yarn. So we went down there and we looked around and you said, do you have any fiber? No, people didn't buy enough of it.
Okay.
Yep. But it says on your
First of all,
website.
She was sitting on the couch with a couple people, never got off to talk to us. Yeah, I'm not impressed.
No.
At all. And the yarn that they had, nothing looked good.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not happy with her anyway. Anyway, the yarn that she had, I would never go back there for any reason whatsoever. This yarn, they didn't have anything that would entice me to go back. Not her personality, for sure.
Next.
We went to, in Hershey, we went to the Underground Yarn and Bookstore.
A good yarn
Not
and
the one
bookstore.
in Portland.
No.
You'll have to share this picture.
Yeah.
Good books
Good selection of books.
and good yarn.
Yeah. They had great.
And coffee. They had
Yeah.
a coffee bar.
They had coffee. That was my only
Critique.
suggestion for improvement. Yeah. No, the books were great. They had good political books like gender study, race studies, high quality fiction. They even had my favorite horror author, which I bought that book there to complete the trilogy. And the yarn, like you said, was a good selection of yarn. Not huge, obviously.
Not huge, but they had locally dyed yarn as well. They had used books too, because
Yeah.
we bought that.
Yep.
It was like a hologram book, dinosaur book that when you open the page, it makes it move.
Yeah.
For both Esmond and Amelia.
Yeah. They both loved it.
Yeah.
But it looked like, so yeah. And then they had a table or two, cafe type seating.
Yeah.
And then coffee, but it was basically they had cold brew or drip.
So what would be your suggestion for an improvement?
Get an espresso machine.
Huh?
Get a little espresso machine.
Well, I think they're relatively new.
Yeah, she said they'd been open for like a year.
Yeah.
And I think she said like it took a year for them to plan it or something.
I didn't talk to her
I
about
don't
that.
remember because we said something. I said something like,
Sure.
And then you came up and we said, we had been to the one in Portland. I was like, no. You're like, it sucks, that place. I was like, no, you are much better than them. It was like they had just,
Say
you were
suck
very. Oh yeah,
But I was I said, I didn't say suck shit. You're like, oh, it's great. I was like, it was shit.
No, it was shit. That's
It
what
was
you said.
shit.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I think we're in and out of that place in Portland in like 5 minutes.
and then I went back and
Let's
showed
look this
pictures
up.
that I had of it.
Yeah.
It was like, no, here, my phone's in the car. I'll come back and show you. And I did, but they were pleasant.
No, the owner and whoever was working the counter was great. Very friendly, great place. Definitely support them.
The quilt store that we went to was TLC Quilting.
This is one we already went to.
We did go to it.
No, when we got Theo, right?
Oh, right. Okay. No.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not going to pause it. I'll just look it up. I'll look
Yeah.
it up.
I'll talk about this one. TLC Quilting. Unique fabrics. I went for thread. No fatties. Oh, that's right. They had a couple of big long arms in the back. I went for thread, specifically for thread. And you kind of walk in and they had some kits in a plastic bag. Weird. And like I brought in my panel that I'm doing to find thread to match it specifically, because I'm not buying thread all at once. I'm buying thread for each panel, and then I can reuse some of the thread that's there and only buy what I absolutely needed. She was very nice, tried to be very helpful. Their scanning system didn't work for thread, so when you're buying $80 worth of thread at $4 or $5 a spool, it's a lot to. It was okay. They didn't really have a lot of fat quarters. Some of the fabric was okay. I wouldn't go back for anything. I wouldn't go out of my way for it.
Yeah.
The other one that we went to was
Half Moon Works.
Half Moon Handworks. It's the one that we went to before.
Yeah.
I think this is the one that she's.
Yeah.
They had some cross stitch stuff and thread for the cross stitch stuff for that, or floss. They had a lot of good fabric, a lot of fat quarters. I've got a lot, and I don't need anything right now, and I need to work through some of the stuff that I've got. But it's also very disorganized, I feel.
They had
and you kept saying...
Yeah, they had the sign, please excuse our mess. We're rearranging and taking inventory at the same time.
Yes.
Which, yes, I did say it a couple of times, but then I also said, it's like, why wouldn't you just do it on a day you're already
close the weekend
closed
or something.
Yeah.
Like the one yarn store that we wanted to go to that was closed for the weekend because they were moving to locations. It was the one in Elizabethtown. We went to go do that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when we went to Rita's, which we didn't have written down. But it was like, close it down for a week. It was just overwhelming, and she was helping one person, and I would have asked her for some help, but she was busy with somebody else, so I didn't.
Yeah. The most impressive thing about that was me. That because we got off and we're pulling in, I'm like, getting this incredible sense of deja vu. It's, have we ever been here before?
Now every time we go someplace, we visit yarn stores and quilt stores.
Yeah.
So in January 2024, that's when we got this.
That's Theo, not me.
No, I've been married to you longer than 2024.
It's true.
And we stopped at the fabric store on the way home, I believe.
Yeah. And
on the way down.
We went in and that's when I'm like, we were like, there's a restaurant around the corner.
Yeah, it was a barbecue place.
Barbecue place.
Yeah. We did go to, eventually we went to Wegmans again. So we've been getting our Wegmans fill, because after this stop, after Hershey, we won't be able to get to Wegmans for a little while without a long drive.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the food places and the yarn and fabric or quilt stores.
Yes.
Now what? Museums.
Do you want to do Broad Street Market now?
So we can do Broad Street Market now.
So remember,
that's supposed to be the other places.
Isn't that what's next?
No.
Oh, we do museums and then other places.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad. I thought I didn't look at that.
Two places, because Broad Street Market sets the tone.
As a whole. Yep. If you can recall from our discussion about the Côte Rouge, the host basically told us about it and mentioned that it had burned down. So we went down there, and essentially it is a farmer's market. It's an indoor farmer's market. And as intended, there is a brick building and a stone building. The brick building is huge and burned down like 2 or 3 years ago. They're in the process of rebuilding it. It is the oldest continuously operating farmer's market in the United States. It has been operating for 150 years.
Yeah.
And they put up one of those outdoor tents, a big tent.
It reminded me of the tent in Charleston for the market.
Yeah. Almost permanent.
Air conditioned. It is.
Yeah.
Because they have places where they can cook and everything inside these
meat
stand.
A meat stand, a fishmonger, and then there's an ice cream place, and then there was
all the stuff that's near and dear to my heart.
Fresh pretzels. And
they were good.
The baker. Mm-hmm. And the baker had the delicious...
It's a Mennonite baker.
Cheesecake.
The first one that I got was very good. The second one that I got was not. So, story with this one. We got in line because I wanted shoofly pie.
Yeah.
It has been a long time since I had shoofly pie.
And they had it here?
I stood in line. I got a slice of cheesecake. Cheesecake is my favorite cake. My birthday comes around. What do you want? Cheesecake. That's my way. And Wegmans has good cheesecake, but it's more of your New York style. So this did not have it. It looked very creamy. So it was like I got a slice because I don't like toppings on my cheesecake. Don't do a topping. You don't need the topping. Let the cheesecake speak for itself. They had a topping on top. So I got that. And then you looked ahead and said, they do in fact have shoofly pie. So I get the shoofly pie, and we got a couple cookies. That's it. Cookies were fantastic, but we were so full from breakfast, we didn't want anything else.
Right.
So we go over to the other side, and it is filled with all these delicious smelling restaurants. Remember then, if you haven't listened to the one for Buffalo, Buffalo had all these different restaurants at West Side Bazaar where they had, it was a, like, what are they, incubator. This is not an incubator, but it had all those kinds of good smelling. But beyond that is many different types of people. Now, they had in the center, there was a picnic table with several older black men, and they were just having these loud conversations that black men do. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, oh my God.
Laughing and talking.
Oh my God. I can't tell you how much I missed it like that. The farmer's market reminded me of Zern's, for those of you that grew up in my hometown, but it's no longer there. And it's just an indoor farmer's market like what we went through. And it was just, it's like you leave something, you go away, and you don't realize how much you miss it until you come back to experience it again. It was,
yeah. And it was, like you said, it was a big central area with a bunch of picnic tables. And then around it, there was a Jamaican place.
Oh,
there was an African place, which unfortunately didn't have the same kind of cuisine as the one as West Side.
Congolese food.
Yeah. And they had a Puerto Rican place. They had a couple of Mexican places. They had a barbecue place. There was a pizza place. There was a coffee place. It was just, we were like, we had gone to Côte Rouge, so I'm not regretting it, but it's, damn, we could have just come here for breakfast. Maybe that's what we'll do. That's probably what we should have done instead of gone to the filling station.
Really what we should have done the following week instead of going to Yankee Doodle.
Probably. Yeah.
Which is the Shoofly Pie.
Yeah.
I would love to tell you how good it was, but I can't because of this asshole. There's a reason why he's being labeled an asshole.
The asshole.
He's got this thing about plastic.
Let's tell the whole story.
What about it?
We got home, blah, blah, blah. Oh. It's the evening.
Yeah.
You have your...
Getting there.
Okay. You're just jumping ahead to plastic.
No, I'm saying he loves plastic.
Yeah.
So he has this thing for plastic. So we come home, we put in another shelf to put in the bread plastic covered food to protect it from Theo.
A shelf for the pantry.
A shelf for the pantry. So because of the way that it's positioned in there, there's an outlet box in there that you can't adjust the shelves really how you want it or should. It's a narrow shelf, which is fine. It's just for the tamales and bread and hamburger buns or whatever. So we come home that night. I put it on the counter. I put the cheesecake in the refrigerator. We had our dinner. And what do you want for dessert? I'm going to have my cheesecake. And a little later on, because it was a weekend night, we're up later, you said, do you want a piece of Shoofly pie for dessert? And I said, no, I already had the cheesecake. If you want it, go ahead. I was going to do it for breakfast because the next day is Mother's Day. Okay. So fast forward, we go to bed and get up in the morning, and he comes out to start the coffee. And what's on the floor but the Shoofly pie?
No.
Tin.
Yeah.
And plastic.
Yeah.
Because the Shoofly pie was put on the floor by the cat, and the dog ate it.
And this is not the first time they've done that. No. The cat will knock off a loaf of bread and either
trying to
tear
pull
it
the
open.
paper. Yeah.
Yeah, just messing with the plastic. He's got a thing for plastic. He will grab it, chew on it, whatever.
Yep. So Shoofly pie, down.
Gone.
So now they're both on my shit list. She's so stupid. She doesn't go counter surfing, but she will eat anything that's on the floor.
Yeah.
Or on the table. Like low enough. She won't
if
like
it's
go
left out
up on the
overnight.
counter.
Yeah.
So we tried to go back to Broad Street Market the following week. It was our last weekend there. And we went to Yankee Doodle. You asked me, and I was like, it's your turn. You pick wherever you want. So we went to Yankee Doodle. And then we went to some open homes to check out the houses to see, because we like this area, and this is an area that we would consider moving to. And we thought, why not? Whatever. And then we went to Broad Street Market. Broad Street Market closes at 4, and we got there about 1:30. About that. They didn't have any more Shoofly pie. So it was like, okay. But there's a little stand outside the campground for a woman that sells, I think she's Mennonite as well. The boys look Mennonite when they're out in the clothing. And she has pies on the weekend.
Yeah.
And as we drove by, I saw that it said Shoofly Pie. So it was like, oh, good, we can get some Shoofly Pie. Now, when you went there, I think the weekend before that or the first weekend, we bought a blueberry pie that we had to throw out because it wasn't baked all the way. It just didn't taste very good. But there was still a lot of pies left.
Yeah.
So that would lead one to believe that not a lot of people buy these pies. Who else likes Shoofly Pie? Apparently there are people in the area that like Shoofly Pie. And when we got there, no Shoofly Pie.
Yeah.
Last opportunity to buy Shoofly Pie. Can't buy the Shoofly Pie.
Yep. Never found any more.
No. But anyway, as far as the stuff that they sold at the bakery there, it was delicious.
That was all good.
The pretzels that were there was also the same bakery, but they just focused on pretzels and pretzel sandwiches or your wrapped, hot dog wrapped around pretzels. Delicious. It was outstanding.
Supposedly their breakfast sandwich pretzels are supposed to be really good too. A couple of people on the Reddit thread mentioned that. And then the first time we were there also, then when we went back to walking back to the truck, because parking is always an issue. And they have a free lot there, but it's not very big. It holds maybe 50 cars or something. I don't know, 30 cars. Yeah. So we parked on the street and we went out to go walk, and there's a bookstore right across the street, Midtown Scholar. And we went over there, and it's freaking huge.
It's a great bookstore.
It was a great bookstore. They had a cafe so you could get some coffee, but it was one of those where you go in and then there's a little back room. Oh, there's an annex there. And then, you go up on the little gallery and there's a room. Oh, and they also had a fine for rare books little annex as well.
It was a great bookstore.
It's a fantastic bookstore. Although no Stephen Graham Jones. So gotta mark it down a half a star for that.
Did we get anything there?
You were in the children's section.
Yeah, I just went in there to sit down. The second weekend that we were there, you were looking at books, because how much can you look at books? Because we can't buy many books in the RV because wait. I started looking and we Zillow a lot. And so I opened up Zillow, and the first one that came up was an old gristmill house, open house. And it was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Now, I swore I would never live in another, I'm not going to say never. Excuse me. I would not live in another old home again because of how much work it requires. And all the money that you make is put into this house. Now, the house that we lived in New Hampshire was built in 1833. So this was older than that. I can say it was older than that because it was built in 1832. But it was built over a creek. And there was in the living room, it looked like a well, but it was just a opening that you can see the creek going by underneath. And they had it plexiglassed off, whatever. And it was updated. It had an updated bathroom, updated kitchen. It was just it was an incredible property.
Completely updated to modern, but definitely there was no cloth wrapped electrical cords coming out of the panel. Yeah.
And the basement was good because it wasn't a dirt basement. It was 2 feet. The flagstone house, the walls were 2 feet thick. So you see these windowsills that are just so deep that you put all kinds of stuff up in there.
Yep.
It was just a great house. So it was like, let's leave from there. And we drove 45 minutes to go see it. And it was like, why not? Whatever. What else are we going to do? Yeah. How much you can keep going to all of these yarn stores and quilt stores or whatever, and museums. But we did that, and then we went back over to where we were going next, and just to see what the house was like. It was a fabulous house.
It's about having a destination, right?
But
so you end up driving through the countryside to get there.
It was beautiful.
Are you going to talk about the drawbacks?
The drawbacks to that house?
Yeah. Is that what you were betting?
Yeah. How it was right on the street. There was the guardrail is like right next to the house, and the guardrail is right next to the street. You can't plant anything in between that. Yeah. The catty corner. Yeah. I guess it was catty corner, but
if it was the way it was positioned was if a car lost its brakes, it would plow into your guardrail. Yeah. But like you pointed out, it wasn't a busy street, but that was a big thing. And then it had a nice little flagstone porch and things like that. Yeah, it was on an acre. That's the other thing. It was on almost 2 acres.
1.7 acres.
Yeah, the previous owners pulled out the trees. So it was nice open grassy area with a few trees in it. Had the creek running through it. two creeks technically, yeah, because one of them, the one that went through the house, was the mill race, the old mill race, and then there was a creek that was diverted from down one of the corners. That was nice.
No
But
garage.
No garage.
The biggest drawback, it was in a flood zone.
Yeah, those creeks.
And they talked about how the highest the water got was the whole first story, which is technically the basement. It filled the whole basement up to the main level of the house. So.
That wasn't that like in the flood of 77 or something like that.
73.
Yeah. But in the
72,
lifetime of the current owners, which is that means they needed flood insurance, which costs
about $6,500 a year
on top of
homeowners insurance and principal and interest and all that stuff.
Yeah. So
it's not like a house that I would want to live in.
No.
But it had everything that we would have needed or wanted in a house, just not.
Yeah.
That's not true because it didn't have a garage. And it didn't have a basement. But anyway, so that was fun. It was kind of fun to do that.
Sure.
It was interesting. Anyway, then we went to, now we can go to the museum that we left there and went back to
the National Civil War Museum.
Yeah.
Yeah, the National Civil War Museum, which is an independent museum, but it was put together in collaboration with the Smithsonian. So it's not a Smithsonian museum, but it has their input. And it's at the highest point in Harrisburg. And it was not great. It was empty because of the time of year. And it was pluses. It was laid out well. There was like a room.
I just want to say that I was in history hell.
Yeah. It was like a big room for each year of the war. You start upstairs.
The Civil War.
And you go down the Civil, and there's stuff about the background. If you don't know much about the Civil War, and you're interested, unlike some people, then it's worth it because it was like very surface, all had with a mixture of personal stories in there.
This is the one where they didn't talk about Jeb Stuart.
They did talk about Jeb Stuart.
They didn't have the personal stories, like the whole background of Jeb Stuart.
I thought I had that as a plus.
Oh, maybe you did.
All surface level stuff. They had some engaging personal stories.
The videos were awful.
Yeah, the videos were, again, not as bad as the American Revolution, I don't think.
Not as bad as the one in Harper's Ferry.
Or Harper's Ferry,
Yeah. These were made in 2000 with some awful, they look like porn star actors.
Yeah.
That kind of acting, just awful.
Not great. Not great. And not a lot of like graphics. In particular, what I thought would have been really helpful would be like at each, the beginning of each room, like map showing the campaigns that they're going to be talking about in that room.
If you think about it, the maps that you do for our podcast, it would be nice if they had that same map in a different color, but keep the one that you have, but then highlight the newer area. But yeah, not everybody knows where things took place.
Yeah.
Gettysburg was great because it focused on Gettysburg.
Yeah.
This was the entire Civil War.
Yeah. And that's definitely been a theme. I think the Museum of World War II was maybe the exception, but then the problem is that was so huge. And
you needed to do that in a couple of days because it gets to be overwhelming.
Yeah. It's like the museums that focus on one thing and do it well are really where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the Fort Macon State Park.
Was Fort Macon.
Yeah. That was it.
Yeah. You said it was laid out well, though, because it went into progressed into each.
Unlike the Museum of the American Revolution.
And needs more maps.
Yeah. They had, for instance, they had one map of Gettysburg, but it was big enough, but then they had smaller maps showing like the other 2 days, and you could barely see them, and they weren't that good to begin with.
Yeah.
That would have been a huge improvement.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
No, I wouldn't. Like I said, if you're going with middle school kids, yeah, sure.
You said you thought it would be good for high schoolers or middle schoolers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you're a history buff, if you're a Civil War guy, go down the road to Gettysburg.
You want to go to...
Woo! The Chocolate World Tour, which, spoiler alert, not a real tour. I thought it was going to be like the Ben & Jerry's tour. When you can go in Vermont, you can go to the factory, and you actually do get to see a little bit of the factory. You can see people working and how the actual machines and that kind of stuff. Not here. It is all animatronic.
They don't have any munchkins working?
No Oompa Loompas. No chocolate river. No.
They had a chocolate river?
No, not a
like
real
in
one. Not like
Not
that.
like there, no.
Yeah.
Are assholes.
Sure.
It was removed from the factory because people were destroying the vats of chocolate. They would destroy it with throwing shit in there.
Yeah. That's why Ben and Jerry's, there's glass. So,
Well, you can't do that in the factory there, like of that size. But you did get to go through it. They changed a lot over the years. It's
Yeah.
free.
it's got an anthropomorphic peanut butter cup who's guiding you on the whole little tour.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That part hasn't changed with
It's
the
free.
cart and stuff like that. If you wanted to learn about chocolate,
Yeah.
how it's chocolate world and why.
Yeah.
It's been many years since I've been through Hershey.
And it was free. Did we mention that? There are other parts of the experience that you pay for, but
There's a trolley.
there's a trolley that takes you on a tour through the actual town, which was a model like industrial town that was built up around the factory.
Candy.
Design your own candy. We just went for the free tour.
I took you to the tour because you had never been.
Yep.
Because I went to Milton Hershey. I had been a lot.
Yeah.
So I didn't do that.
I'm glad we went. And then you go.
There's a restaurant there now. There's a soda fountain there. That stuff was not there when I was there. Buy candy, but that was it.
Yeah.
My picture was on there when I went in the late 80s.
Really?
My picture with my roommate, Lisa Ruggieri. We're taking pictures of a bunch of kids that went to Milton Hershey, specifically girls, because we were the first girls, one of the first girls that were in there. And then, so they took a picture of us. I think Judy Shockley was on there. I think Nancy McDonald was on there. Some of the other girls that were in my home that was in there, which was Conestoga, which we drove by. So we did get to go see that.
Like the
but
wagon.
the interesting thing was Shawnee was another house. That was one of my other Facebook friends. He lived in Shawnee. Was the high school that was up on the hill right across from Hershey Park, Chocolate World, which is right next to one another, used to be the high school.
So maybe you should tell folks what, because I never knew what the Milton Hershey Milton Hershey School was.
You didn't know it?
Before I met you, I had no idea what it was.
Milton S. Snavely Hershey is a boarding school. It started out as orphanage because his wife Catherine could not have any children. So then they ended up having this orphanage for parents that were no longer. Then they changed it to just fatherless boys because of the war. It started in, I think, 1909. They started that, and then it became fatherless boys. Then they opened it in the 60s it was white boys. Then they opened it in the 60s to include other kids of color. And then in the 70s, it opened to girls, still fatherless. And then later on, it opened up for mothers that were gone or divorced. And now it is income-based or father. We went to Founders Hall, which is this big dome. It's the largest dome in the country, did you say?
One of.
And
Like in central, whatever.
Founders Hall
Easton's.
it's a big marble building, and then the dome is lit up at night. It's where a lot of the proms are held. It has a big, massive auditorium that we got to see, luckily, because the guy who was giving us a tour, he graduated there in 1950. His wife was there, a lovely woman, and told us that the high school is no longer the high school, which it looks like a big castle. We drove around the castle. I drove around there because I went to see what it was like. It's not as exactly the way that I had remembered it because they changed the wings. It's no longer wings. They have other parts that are built on in the back. They changed that to a middle school. And the middle school, which was a part of Founders Hall, it was off to the side called Catherine's Hall, is now the high school. Now Catherine's Hall is the high school, the old high school. And then they switched to where the students live. It used to be Conestoga was middle school, and then they changed that to high school.
Yeah, because there's, like you say, and there are little clusters of houses. There's a dozen kids who live in each one.
For
About that?
middle school, there was 14. For high school, there's 16.
And there's a married couple, house parents who live in the house full time and take the kids around and do all that kind of stuff. And then there's as you said, the school part of it.
So so a kid that goes there, you have to pass an aptitude test. You have other parameters that will qualify for you to being there. You can't be a dick.
You have to be well behaved.
I'm not well behaved, so I got thrown out. Or I got a choice. I could leave or I could be removed, or I could voluntarily or involuntarily.
You can quit or we'll fire you.
Pretty much. And so I left. But for us, the girls that were there, it was not easy. It was difficult. There were some girls that got it. They made it. But I am not one that's going to allow people to walk all over me. And I learned to fight. And I kept fighting. And that's why I got thrown out. Anyway, so that was different, the high schools and the switching. Then I found out that, and when I went to high school, it was great because it was like I finally got to be one of the big kids and milk the cows. And in 1989, they got rid of the barns.
Yeah.
The barns are still there, but they don't milk cows anymore because people complained.
Yeah.
Who knew? I complained about being molested in the school and nobody did anything about it. They still do it. And you even looked up to see if there was any lawsuits against them for that. And it was against boys.
Yeah.
But the girls were molested walking in the hallway of the schools.
Yeah.
And everybody knew it. Nobody did anything about it. And my brother knew it. And he still blames me for getting thrown out because I couldn't play the game. Yeah, I guess if your dick is grabbed every time you walk around or sitting in class, then maybe that would be a little different. But I guess not. Anyway, so it was tough for me. I will speak for me. I don't know how it was for my classmates. I don't know who all graduated or not because I didn't really talk to them after I left. A lot of other reasons for that too.
So we went to the Founders Hall.
Went to Founders Hall.
Which you can tour. And the older gentleman, very lovely fellow for the most part. He took us around.
Lovely fellow.
Yeah. Like kind of like when you brought up like how harassed you were as being, because you were like the second group of, they like had a handful of girls and then there was like another.
Elementary school.
And
then they brought in the middle school.
Like 6 months later. He kind of glossed over that. Didn't really acknowledge it that much.
No.
But then when we went up in the main lobby, which they had all kinds of, I thought was good. They had lots of displays of what the kids had done and what life was like there. And you can be a house parent. That was everywhere.
Yeah.
Be a house
He
parent.
even suggested it.
He
and
said
I was
it
like,
to us,
yeah,
and
no,
his wife said it to us.
I said, I don't think so. I got thrown out. And he was like, that would make you, it's not what you did then, it's what you make of yourself now.
Which you have.
The other part was they had pictures that would come up.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there and I was like, oh, look, I know her. That was the first girl I got in a fight with. I won't mention her name. It was the woman went in the back and got some of the yearbooks for us to look through so we could see. And my brother graduated in 1980 from there. And then shortly after I got thrown out.
Yeah, we got to see your picture and the
handbells
band.
And the band. And
yeah.
We talked about that. And we drove around the campus.
Are you going to talk about the auditorium too, right?
What about it?
But anyway, the Founders Hall itself, beautiful building. Like you said, like this arch, all this stuff. We walk in and it's like you step back into the 70s, right back into it. It's like the design on the carpet, the furniture. It had what I called the dandelion chandeliers, where it's like there's a thin metal arm with one of the little
all over the place.
Candelabra bulbs.
Yeah. They are all over.
Yeah, it was 70.
Well,
sparkles in the tile and the concrete in the floors and in the bathrooms and all that kind of stuff.
I tried to go into the doors that were the dining hall for middle school, but it was locked because that would have been 70s.
The first guy, had talked about the auditorium, and they had just renovated it, and there's something in there now, but maybe his wife would be.
So the other part is when I went there, we had Sunday service in this auditorium every Sunday. Obviously, it's a Sunday service. It's non-denominational, and I love the Glee Club, and they would sing every Sunday in there. It was just beautiful the way that they sang. And they also had a jazz band. They would play in there. There were some good parts to Milton Hershey.
Sure.
But on a daily life, it was not for me. But anyway, jazz band. Then I was part of the choir. We sang in there a couple of times. And so they had this gospel choir that's in there. And they were practicing. So she allowed us to go in. She took us in the back so that we could see how renovated it was. And I said, when I was here, they had Mr. Rogers came, and she said, when they opened up from the renovation, they had the Jonas Brothers came. Big difference.
I guess I'd rather see Mr. Rogers myself, but I guess I'm showing my age.
Yeah. But everything that they did on the groundwork. Now I showed you where I got high, but
Yeah.
they had the lakes and the ponds that they had,
Yeah.
and the entryway stone walls that was there. The other thing that he told us that was much different than what I remember being there was that if you graduate from Milton Hershey, you get 4 years of college paid for in any college that you want. They pay for college. That wasn't that way.
Yeah.
I don't recall Michael getting his college paid for. I don't recall that part of it. I don't know. Maybe he did when he went to Kutztown. Why would you go to Kutztown if you had it paid for? I mean, I would have gone to Penn State if I was there.
Maybe
he couldn't get in. Yeah. I don't know.
Who knows?
According to him, he's the smartest man around. Well, anyway, let's see. What else was different? Oh, the seniors now don't live in a house. They only have houses for 9th through 11th grade. And then the seniors have independent apartments.
Yeah.
And then they have a person that lives in the community with the other independent apartments. And they teach them how to be independent. They give them a budget. They buy their groceries. They pay for all of their utilities and everything.
Yeah. They live in apartments and they have, I think it said 4 or 6 people in an apartment. And then there's a resident, an adult living there or there at all times, I think, living there. So there's always an adult around and they're living with roommates. Yeah, they got to figure it out. That's great.
I would say it's probably a lot better now. It is a lot better now, obviously. A lot more flexibility. They don't have to prove anything to the boys that were there. And that was the biggest problem is they had to prove something to the boys that they weren't going to go easier on the girls.
Right.
And so they went over and above.
They being administration.
Went over and above how difficult it was. And everybody turned a blind eye to the stuff that was going on to the girls because you have all this testosterone. And we were less than a tenth of my section, because it was like 7.2 or whatever, the 7th grade. You had 9 sections of 7th grade. There was only 3 girls, me, Tracy, and Karen. Tracy Sherman, Karen Porter, and myself.
How many boys?
So maybe a class of 20. So you have, because if Michael graduated, I think there was 80 something students with him that graduated with him. So if you figure that you've got people drop out all the time, like flies.
Yeah, and that's where the first tour guide, you'd said something about that, and was like, boys will be boys kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was the time that they were hard on everyone, whatever kind of.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but you're not hearing. What surprised me was I had assumed Milton Hershey ran this corporation, was founded the Hershey chocolate, had a bunch of money, took $1 million and said, start up a school, use this money, start up a trust fund. And that is sort of what he did. But instead of $1 million, he gave the school the entire freaking corporation. Yeah. So Hershey School owns 51% of the stock in the Hershey Corporation. It is the wealthiest private school in the country. Don't know about the world, but definitely in the country.
Billions of dollars that they spend on the school.
Yeah, that's why they have all these. And then they're continually expanding. Like now they have the early childhood program where they have these outreach centers in the towns where if you're a single mother or whatever, you can come and get support and do
Your
this.
kid goes to daycare free.
You get classes,
and you get classes,
job training, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's good.
They have, it's much better than what it was. It's kind of women that enter break the glass window. Not all of the girls. I'm going to say this. Not all of the girls had issues, but I'm going to say maybe I had issues because I was one of the pretty ones.
There you go. Yeah. You are to me.
Yeah. I do know that a lot of the football players that took me under their wings helped me because my brother didn't. My brother was part of the problem. He didn't molest me there anyway. He didn't molest me. He was definitely part of it. Makes comments or starts rumors about my sister. I'll kill you. He was a pussy. He wouldn't do anything. He just wanted to blend in and be nice like everybody else.
Under the radar.
But then the other part to that is, and as an adult, I can say he was abused by my father before he died. So of course he's not going to try and start anything because of the abuse that he endured and my sister endured. So why would they do that? I endured it after he died from them.
Right.
And so that's how I learned to stand up for myself because nobody else was.
And his strategy, I'm sure, was to fly under the radar.
Yeah.
Don't attract attention. That could result in
And that's what he
abuse.
wanted me to do, but that's not possible.
Yeah.
Kids are awful. And in that setting, kids were awful.
In that setting.
My mom drops me off at 12 and then moves across country, takes my brother and my sister, which I was trying to be near my brother because I didn't have anybody else in this world, and takes my brother and my sister and drives across country. And I don't know when I'm going to see them again.
Yeah.
Here I am alone. Anyway.
But here you are now.
But now, if you guys, I wouldn't, if Amelia went there, I wouldn't mind. Any of my grandkids would go there. It would be fine. I would live close by.
Yeah.
So that I could see them. But if anybody touched any of my grandkids or my kids, because this is the way I was with my kids too. If anybody fucked with my kids, you would get it. That's what happened to my ex-best friend. But,
I'm saying.
and
Looking at you, Patty.
Yeah. Looking at you, Patty. You touch my kids or you fuck with my kids, you will get a whole mess of me. Just saying. And the ironic thing is I used to stand up for my brother and my sister. There, they would start shit with my brother there, and I would defend him and kick ass, whoever it was, male, female, football player, basketball player, whatever it was. I would go after him because they would try and fuck with my brother. And then my sister when I was younger. So anyway, but I would, yeah. Any of my grandkids that would go there, I would live there and keep an eye on them, close eye on them.
You want to be a house parent?
No. Although I will say Esmond was considering it.
Seemed like it.
Yeah.
I think the biggest obstacle for me would be you can't work.
No, I don't think so.
I mean,
Yeah. I would still want to work.
Yeah. And you get room and board, but all that kind of stuff. So that's a major savings, room and board. But yeah, I don't know if I could. It's a huge commitment. Hats off to those.
We had gone to TJ Maxx, and there was a house parent that was dropping off kids to go shopping there. So I don't know if I went to. I've done enough raising kids.
Yeah.
And I don't want to raise anybody else's kids.
I would only do it for the kids age I would teach, like high school.
High school. Boy or girl?
Oh, that's right. They are mixed. I don't know. That's a tough one.
Girls tend to be whiny.
And they can be, it's a whole
bitches.
different, yeah.
Yeah.
Guys usually like they fight it out, like stereotype, they fight it out and then they're all,
Sort of wrong with that.
Nothing that, which one would I want to deal with?
I wouldn't want to do girls. I think boys.
Yeah, but the problem is but boys are so stupid. So they got one thing on their mind at that age.
Yeah. But you only have to worry about one penis.
Yeah, that's true.
It's tough. I would do boys because I think I tend to get along better with boys.
Yeah, you're good with, especially that kind.
Yeah. Of course, there's been times that he would say that my friends don't like you. I'm not here to make them like me. I don't care.
Yeah.
Was there anything else?
Nope, I don't think so.
Let me see. I feel like there was.
Rita's
Italian Ice. Man. You have never had Rita's Italian Ice. You need to have Rita's Italian Ice.
I should have gotten a small and tasted it.
Should have gotten a small. She did talk us into getting the large.
Yeah, it's only 30 cents more. Like mango, or
you didn't get the watermelon. That's one you should have gotten. It something. I got the blue raspberry.
Too sweet. Even I thought your blue raspberry was just too sweet. Yeah. I love the Luigi's Italian Ice you get at the store.
Oh my god! And
I know it's not the same thing, but
no. But we have to try a Rita's again next time. Anyway, that's Hershey.
That's Hershey.
I think I missed that area.
Yeah.
I missed that.
We liked it enough that I'm getting my teaching license in Pennsylvania to keep all the options open.
Yeah. I would definitely live there. I would live in San Luis Obispo in a heartbeat, but...
Like you said, we always Zillow. I remember there was something that ran a feature like, what can $250,000 buy you in Los Angeles? I'm always like, what is an average? What's it going to cost? And like Pennsylvania, this part was like, wow.
Yeah.
This is the most affordable anything has been.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, there's other places that have been not great, but
yeah. Anyway, we'll see what the future holds.
Yeah.
I think that about does it.
What is the thing you like the most?
Ooh, the thing I like the most. I really enjoy just driving around, just the area, the countryside, the area, the feeling, the rolling hills. Like you said once when we were driving around in New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, dairy farms. What do they have in common? They're both farms, dairy farms, that kind of stuff. But in Pennsylvania, it's just so much open. There's not as much forest. It's more rolling hills, grassland.
You can breathe.
You can breathe. Yeah. Then in Harrisburg, very diverse city.
Yeah.
Plenty of what I would consider to be civilization.
Yeah.
Not just American food, American pub food.
Yeah, that's true.
What about you?
What did I like the most? I missed that area, I would say. The whole area. I liked that. I'm surprised at how much I missed it. Now, we went down on my dad's 45th anniversary of his death. Esmond and I went down to visit his grave. We didn't get there. I wanted to get there, and I wanted to go visit my Amish friend. We didn't get there either.
This trip, you mean?
This trip. Yeah. It didn't hit me as much as it did this time. People in New Hampshire, and I know you're listening, but people in New Hampshire, I have said this to my coworkers, that all the trees and everything is close to the road, that when you're driving, all you can see is this. You can only see what's in front of you, and you can only see what's behind you. And that is their mentality. Mm-hmm. They only focus on that. They don't allow any outside ability to come in, any outside influences to come in. It's all like this, right? They don't open up. They don't share things. They don't do anything. They keep a lot to themselves. And so it's like that, right? Mm-hmm. But Pennsylvania and other areas that are outside, and I'm not talking Vermont because it's not even like that. Vermont's completely different, but it's this openness that's there. It allows you to see, if you use that as a way of people's mentality, it certainly allows you to be able to take outside influences and look at the perspective of everybody else, or see what else is out there, and just see the world and not just focus only on your tiny little domain. And I think that's one of the things. I mean, when I say I can breathe, that's what I'm talking about, is it doesn't feel so cloistered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you disappointed in?
Disappointing in the Shoofly Pie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was disappointed in the National Civil War Museum. Definitely a big letdown. Could have passed it. Could have skipped it. Would not have missed it.
Well, that was new since we left.
Yes.
So,
opened, I think, in 2001. Right?
Yeah. And it was just after we moved away.
Yeah.
So I think that's why you wanted to see what's when was the last time you had gone to a museum that had recently opened? Yeah. Mostly museums seems to have always been there. Like they've been there since God was on earth.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the reason why you went to go, is because, this is a newer museum. Let's see what it's about.
Yeah.
Not very good.
No.
Surprise. The terrible yarn stores.
You would think. Central Pennsylvania seems.
We didn't go to all of them, but
true. That's true.
We didn't spend a lot of time doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, the last weekend that we were there, we went to 4 open homes on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, also the yarn stores, we had the issue of them being closed. Because some of them, like there was the one, I forget and we looked at it, but it was basically like the place in, was it Vermont, where they spin the yarn and all that kind of stuff I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. And they were open like from 11 to 4 during the week.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's out.
You did.
Oh, how bad the yarn were. My surprise was Milton Hershey School in general. The fact that they own the whole corporation.
That surprised you more than anything.
And just like what you were saying, if any of my grandkids went there, I think they would get a decent education. I think they're trying to do the right thing, and it seems like improvements have been made.
The other part I was going to add to that, just to go back a minute, is that you send your kid there. It's a boarding school. They provide health care. They provide dental care.
Yeah.
They provide hair care. They provide clothing. They provide the food. They provide everything you want. I could say you want for nothing, but they're everything that you need that is essential to living, you get.
Do they give cell phones to everybody?
I don't
know about that.
Don't think so.
And you can go home. You said there's like vacations to 10-day breaks, and then a month in the summer. It's not like you never see your parents again.
No, and they can come and visit.
And they can come and visit.
Yeah. After church on Sunday.
Is that those visiting hours?
It's after church on Sunday. Michael he had friends, and we went to a Seventh-day Adventist. I didn't know what it was then. It was all I knew was I didn't have to go back to the house. I didn't have to go back and push the lawnmower that had no motor to mow that lawn.
It's good for you. Builds character.
Okay.
Speaking as someone who never had to do that.
Yeah. The one thing I did learn when I was there is my house mother was English, and I learned that the English eat on the back of their forks. Everything on the back of their forks. And so that's how some of the spies were caught during, I think it's World War
II, whatever.
That the Americans or whoever wasn't eating on the back of their forks. So we did learn that.
It's like that scene in Inglourious Bastards. Do you know that one? There's a spy, and he goes to order 3 beers, but a German would go 3 beers.
Can the camera see you do that?
I don't know. I can't see the camera.
Oh.
Yes.
I think that wraps it up. I don't think there's a whole other things that we can delay on this.
Nope. Yeah.
There's
About Hershey.
There's a lot to cover.
Yeah. No, I agree. We were there for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So we were able to finally get.
Fuck all here.
Yeah. Even though we're also here for 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. But the next podcast is our last location for season 1.
Oh, yeah.
This is our last location.
Yeah.
There's 2 more episodes that we're going to do after that location one.
Yes, our special episodes.
That's a big feat.
Coming to the end.
Yeah. 35 episodes? Come on.
When the average podcast does 3.
Yeah.
3 if you're American or English, 3 if you're German. Yep. Kind of
Just kidding.
5 teeth. All right.
That's it for today's stop on Next Stop Somewhere. We hope you enjoyed exploring Hershey and Harrisburg area.
Central PA.
Dauphin County. If you liked this episode, be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast so you don't miss our next stop. And if you really enjoyed it, leave a review so it helps everyday travelers find us.
You said Dauphin County there. And when I first moved to Harrisburg, I was like, Dolphin? Why are they naming it after?
DOLPHIN?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
DAUGHIN.
PHI.
I don't know.
Yeah. French. It's the son of the king.
Yeah. Dauphin County.
Anyway.
One day I will get some Shoofly Pie.
But you can also follow us on Instagram and YouTube at nextstop_somewhere. And I think that'll about wrap us up.
Yeah.
I'm Jeff. She's Louise. And we'll see you at the next stop.
Sounded like you said, geez, Louise.
Geez, Louise.
Like I've never heard that one before either.
We'll see you at the next stop, wherever it might be, which is not Pennsylvania.
Nope.
We've moved on to the Empire State. We're in an Empire State of mind.
Okay.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
No, don't do that again.